I'm Chey, and if you're like me and you love music, chances are that you love going to shows. Or maybe you're a music lover who wants to go to shows, but you feel a little overwhelmed. But no matter which category you're in, you might be a little uncomfortable with the idea of going alone. Don't be. I'm a big supporter of the idea that people should go to shows alone sometimes. And trust me, I've had to overcome my own hesitations with it too. A lot. But now, I want to take what I've learned over the years and share it with you in hopes that we can turn a little bit of that nervous anxiety into excited anticipation. This, like all the other following tips, is going to be helped if you already have experience going to shows, even with other people, but we're going to speak in broad terms here so we can cover all our bases. Do yourself a favor and scope out both the venue and the parking situation. Personally, I hate driving somewhere I've never been, especially alone. It's the worst if I only know about plans to go said place 48 hours or less in advance. I need at least 72 hours or more to process your request. Please and thank you, even if I've been there before. The prospect of driving somewhere I've never driven myself, alongside the other anxieties that come with traffic, parking situations, tickets, all that stuff, it turns my ADHD brain into overcooked pasta trying to crawl its way into logic like I'm bread. Okay? Not pretty. So to nip this in the bud, scope out this place like you're doing research for a friend on their sketchy new Tinder match. Go to the venue's website, check out their FAQs. This is a bonus tool that will help us later. Usually, most venues have a section on parking. Use it! Also have Google Maps open and actually have satellite imagery on, that way you can get a bird's eye view of where you're actually going to be going. Go and look around the venue, like I said, even if you've been there before. Looking at it with the mindset of a driver, even if you're taking public transportation or rideshare, can help give you a different perspective. If you are driving, route the entire way from point A to point B. Zoom in and follow that baby along until you feel comfortable. Also, if you're driving, do the same thing with parking. Look at the options on maps. Route the walking situation from your parking to the venue. That way you know exactly where you're going. You don't have to scramble around, especially if you're running late or you got to get food on the way. Just make sure you don't even have to think about it. Also, it might help you feel more comfortable because some places look good in the day and then other times at night look entirely different. Getting familiar with the landmarks and the orientation will help you feel a lot more confident once you actually get there and feel more grounded. It's also invaluable if you plan to get there hours ahead before doors. Budget. Budget. You hear me? Budget. Somewhere out in the wide blue yonder, Carlos is nodding his head and wagging his finger at me. It is bad when the merch people know you on sight. I'm not saying Carlos is bad. If you go to a Tooth show, make sure you say hi. Make sure you say hi to Carlos. Hello, hi, Carlos. He's great. I'm the problem. Don't be Chey. If possible, look up what the merch items are ahead of time. Often you can find these on the band's or the artist's social media, or a lot of times, honestly, find them on Reddit, like a subreddit of the artist. But if they're a smaller artist, sometimes they post them to their own stories, but even bigger artists do this too. Go try and browse and choose ahead of time. That's not to say that things will be available once you get there, because especially if you're going on a later date, they might have sold out of certain sizes. So have some backups in your mind. And also, don't be afraid to, when you get there, this is skipping a little bit ahead, don't be afraid to ask the merch person, like, hey, can I see this? And, hold it up to myself. Because they want to get you the right stuff. But back to budgeting. Make sure you allot for gas if you're driving, or public transportation prices, or peak rideshare times. Trust me, you're going to thank yourself. When you see that $40 Uber, you're going to be thanking yourself that you budgeted. I also almost forgot to mention to budget for parking if you're driving. That seems pretty obvious, but that's what we're here for, Chey, to give the tips. Lord have mercy. This is why you want to look for parking ahead of time. This is why you want to use the venue's FAQ. You want to have backup options because maybe they're able to use the business's parking lot across the road. But what happens if you get there and it's full? Uh-oh. Well, you're smart. You listen to Chey, and you're smart. So you mapped all the parking options, and you know that there's a place half mile down the road near the overpass, and parking is actually only $5 on Fridays. And not a lot of people know that, but you did, because you looked it up, because you thought ahead of time, and you're not having to pay $50 for Metropolis parking, but try and, God forbid, try and find parallel parking along the street. Thank me later. And most importantly, budget for food. Packing. This probably won't apply to a lot of you because I know a lot of people just carry their phone or what they can carry in their pockets. Also, not to mention, it's much easier when you're going with someone else and you two can split up what you're carrying or trade off, or you only have to worry about one person's phone battery surviving the night. That way you can get out of there or at least get back to your car. But if you just want to pack things or you want to make sure to pack some things because you're going alone, here's some tips. I need my bag. I need my bag. I need my bag. Most bag policies are pretty straightforward, just like no backpacks or giant tote bags, and this is my bag that I use 99% of the time. Some venues, though, only have clear bag policies. This is why it's important to check ahead of time. You can usually find your venue's bag policy in their FAQs, too. If it's just a regular policy, though, like nothing huge, nothing that you can store a freaking tent in, it's not strictly clear bag, this is the one, this is my go-to. This is my baby. I have never had a problem with this bag. I'd recommend one this size because it fits everything that I need and it also doesn't become cumbersome throughout the night. Most importantly though, it's easy to see right into. So they just peek in, they glimpse everything they need to see, and then I get moved right on through the line. They don't have to dig out 87 different items that have been hidden there since the dawn of Genghis Khan. They see it, they're happy with it, they check there's only 3 pockets, they see everything, I'm zoom zam ready to go. Which leads me to say, pack as light as you can. You're not moving into the venue, sweetheart. As much as we all would like to. My usual everyday carry at a concert is my phone, which I'm filming on right now, my keys, my charger, which is plugged up into the wall right now, an adapter for said charger. This is actually a lightning to 1/4-inch adapter, but we're gonna pretend like it's a charger adapter, okay? A power bank, a pen or a Sharpie. Usually with me, it's a Sharpie because audio engineer, I always gotta have a Sharpie on me. Some petty cash, and a lot of earplugs. Which leads me to my one plea of this entire video. If you're gonna take one piece of advice away from this whole thing, just one tip that you listen to and actually follow from this video, for the love of God, wear your earplugs. It's a sense that when we lose it, we really don't have the technology to start to reverse it or to restore it. Once it's gone, dude. And you may not even feel the damage for 10 years on. Not 2 years on, you may not even feel it for 10 years down the road. Oh, my ears are fine. Like, yeah, they ring a little bit when I get out of shows, but I've been going to shows for years. They're fine. No, they're not. No, they're not. 10 years from now, you're going to say, Shay, I wish I listened to you because I can't now. I can't hear freaking anything now because I didn't wear earplugs at shows. Please, for the love of God, wear your earplugs. Eargasms, not sponsored, by the way. Eargasms, which I use for work, can range, I think they have like 15 to even 30 dB of hearing, which that means that's how much noise it cuts out. These babies last forever. I use them for work, I use them for going to shows, I use them for everything. But you don't have to buy these. And these are relatively, I think these are pretty affordable. Mine cost like 20 bucks. And again, they last forever and you get a cleaning brush and stuff like that. But if that's not an option for you, you can also buy single-use ones at like Walmart or your local hardware store. Usually I pack 4 or 5 of these babies in my bag at a time because sometimes my eargasms, like if it's a really hot, sweaty environment, sometimes like I'll swap them out for the foam earplugs. But usually I just carry extras to give to people around me, especially if I see people that have kids. Your hearing is your own to do what you want with. I can plead and I can stomp and I can yell at you, but it is your decision. I recognize that. I'm Nick Fury. I recognize that it's a stupid decision and I've elected to ignore it for myself, but you can do what you want. Kids, please, 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 if you're carrying a kid to the show, please give them earplugs. Please give them headphones. Please protect their hearing. Eat and hydrate! I cannot stress to you how important that this is. Because I myself, I understand how important drinking water is, hydrate or dehydrate, am I right? I personally want to tell you a cautionary tale of yes, you should eat and yes, you should hydrate before a show and hydrate during a show, but the most important thing is to also know your own body. Here's my cautionary tale. I started drinking more water before shows because I started going to a lot more hardcore and metal and rock shows and stuff like that, hot, sweaty environments. Well, I had this fascinating thing happen where in the middle of shows, all of a sudden I would start feeling very lightheaded, very nauseous, and need to sit down. And you might think, well, Shannon, it's dehydrated. No. I was drinking water. I was drinking water the whole time. In fact, the more water I drank, the worse that I felt. And I finally discovered it's because I was drinking too much water, my blood sugar was dropping, and I was screwing myself. And so what was a normal amount of water for someone else to be able to hold themselves up to the show was too much for me. I had to learn my own body. I stopped drinking as much water, so now what I do is I drink water the day of the show, and then before the show I'll drink something a little bit more, like, not sugary, but something like Diet Coke, you know, something that's not water, and then during the show I'll have some water that I just sip on, and I've learned my body's cues and stuff like that. So yes, it's important to hydrate, but also be kind to your body, listen to your body's cues, learn yourself. Your body is going to go through a lot during the show. Even if you're just standing there watching it the entire time, it's going to be a hot, sweaty environment. You're going to have a lot of micro movements. Your body is going to need that nourishment. So again, please drink water and eat something of substance. I don't just mean crackers or a piece of fruit. I mean actually eat something of substance. If you're driving, pack your car with snacks for pre and post show. Trail mix, some gummies, yummy yummies. Sorry. And if you're ride sharing, use what you studied about the map to be able to pick some stuff up before your ride gets there. Maybe a convenience store is nearby, so you leave the venue, go to the convenience store while you're waiting on your ride, you know, whatever. Use that knowledge to your advantage. Day of show. During. Alright, baby. It's show day. Let's talk about it. Tickets. Let's talk tickets. There are so many different ways to get tickets nowadays. When it's possible, I personally like getting a paper copy of a ticket if I can print it out and keep it, you know, whatever. I have hoarded so many tickets over the years, so that's my preferred method of doing it, if possible. But I also lose everything, and I'm ADHD, so I totally understand why people would not want to do that. However, one giant overarching tip that I can give you, no matter how you choose to get your tickets, will call, which means that you go pick them up at the venue. Usually you have to show your ID or the card that you use to order said tickets, or whether you print them out or whether you just have them on your phone. One tip I can give you, star your emails. You get a confirmation email, right? Star that son of a gun. Star it, favorite, whatever your email server does. Usually with things like TicketWeb, e-ticket, stuff like that, you get both a confirmation email of your order, like a receipt, and then you get the actual email with the tickets as a PDF. Star both of those emails. And Ticketmaster, because they don't send you the ticket, it's on their own server, but they send you a receipt. At least star that receipt. At least favorite that receipt. That way, if, God forbid, you have trouble getting into the venue for whatever reason, and you need to talk to the venue or the staff, you have all the information you need right there at your fingertips. And while we're on the topic of venue staff, please, for the love of God, be nice to them. I should not have to say this, and yet, as someone who works on venue staff, I am. I have never worked in a restaurant, and I've never worked traditional retail, but trust me, the spirit of what we all put up with working with the public can be the same. So please, for the love of God, please be nice to your venue staff. We are doing our best. Now let's get to people. Everyone's favorite subject. One of the best and worst things about a show can be the people. And I feel like this is the part where a lot of people get nervous about going alone. First of all, let me reassure you of one thing. No one is looking at you and thinking, that person here alone? What a sad, pathetic little pineapple weirdo. If they think that, they're the sad, pathetic little pineapple weirdo. They ain't got nothing better to do than to stare at you and bless their heart. Besides, there are so many other people to notice and interact with. But if you don't want to talk to people, that's fine. You don't have to. If you do want to, take comfort in the fact that there's already a topic at hand. You're all there to see the artist. Just, if you want to talk to someone, there's your first subject, there's your icebreaker. Talk to them about what artist they're here to see. You know, maybe you notice their t-shirt, or some of the merch that they have, or ask them, like, what songs are their favorite, what artists that they're here to see, because sometimes I go for the opener. I don't go for the main act. I mean, I stay for the main act, obviously, but I'm going for the opener more than the main act, and that's always an interesting conversation to have for someone who is there for the main act, you know, because then we trade, like, song recommendations, we trade album recommendations, we share our favorite moments from each band, and we learn a little bit from each other. Those are some of my favorite interactions at shows. Use that icebreaker of commonality to your advantage. The people standing next to you could be your next best friends. And even if that doesn't interest you, it can help to befriend them, especially depending on the music genre. So don't be afraid to ask them which artist they're there to see, or compliment their outfit, or ask about their favorite song. The conversation starter is literally all around you. And it might not lead to a deep, carried on conversation, but you'll have crossed a hurdle and gotten to share a moment with a fellow fan. It always helps me loosen up because I'm a yapper, especially when I'm nervous. I'm a very bad yapper. I'm a very nervous yapper. So when I can find something common to talk about with someone, I pounce on it. It's a good way to alleviate nerves and make new friends, even if just for the night. And I gotta say this, but not everybody is cool, unfortunately. I know, disappointing. And I hate to say this, but I'm gonna. You can usually suss out these people in line. If you watch, if you sit there and observe while you're standing in line, you can usually figure out which people they are. They tend to show themselves early. The shovers to the barricade, the people that laugh through the openers, the people that will actually become problem drunks. That kind of thing. Take a deep breath and know that you are not the only one noticing. And now, you're all set for the show. So here's possibly my most favorite tip and the scariest. Be yourself. And I am so serious about that. For some people, it's easier to do that when they're alone, but for many, I recognize that it's harder. When you're at a show with family or with friends, you get your own little bubble, right? You're with this person that you can feel safe with, and you let out more of yourself. They can help bring it out of us because they're our safe person, and it can be intimidating to be vulnerable around a group of strangers. But hey, that's what music does, and that's what everyone's there for. Because that music, that artist has made them feel vulnerable in a way you can both relate to, but also not understand because it's their journey. Yet, that's also what you all have in common. That being said, be vulnerable. I'm not talking about giving a TLDR of your freaking therapy session. I just mean be you. I mean, sing your heart out, dance, headbang, whatever it is you feel the need rising up in you to do it. And most importantly, do it with your full heart. Trust me, people will notice in a good way, and you'll inspire them and spread courage. That sounds cheesy, but it's true. Trust me, please trust me on this. The caveat is, please be careful, be courteous, and please be spatially aware to the best of your ability. Yes, it's a show. Yes, you're gonna be squished. Yes, we're all gonna bond on a molecular germy level. Yes. But try to avoid jamming your elbow repeatedly in the neck of a girl in front of you at the barricade when you absolutely do not have to, while screaming all the wrong lyrics in her ear. Wow, Chey, that's oddly specific. Yes, it is. Wonder why? Getting back on track, a little mini tip before the show starts: show the same support for the openers that you do the main act. Give them the courtesy and the respect of paying attention. Don't talk or laugh your way through them because number one, it's rude, and number two, they might just be your next favorite band. And when it's time for the show to begin, just have fun. After the show, well, it's done. Did you have fun? I hope you did, and I hope that you stayed safe, and I hope that you lost your voice, and I hope that you're sweaty in a good way. Ew, why would I say something like... A lot of venues still offer water. And if you're sweaty, you need water. Chey, this transition is not working the way that we would like it to. After the show, a lot of venues still have water available. Take advantage of it. Please take advantage of it. Rehydrate yourself. Your body, the day after, will thank you. And while you're sipping on your water, if you are in a place to be able to do so, please visit the merch booth to try and support the acts in any way you can. And if you do so, and again, you're able to do so, you're in the position to be able to do so, please tip your merch person. This is why we bring petty cash. And if you see the artists at their merch booth and they're open to talk and you like their stuff, tell them, have a conversation. A high five or a simple smile can go a long way. If you drove to the show yourself, take a moment, considering if you don't have a super long drive ahead of you, and snack in your car. Or use that route you studied in your head to go ahead and pre-plan where you're going to grab some grub. If you're ride sharing, this is where you're going to thank yourself for memorizing the map earlier, because when you book your ride, you won't be pinching and scanning and twisting the map like an ancient scroll of old, being like, where the f*** is that? Where am I? Who am I? What is that building? I've never seen that building in my life. You won't have to deal with that. You're welcome, and thank yourself. And the best thing I can tell you here, if you feel safe to do so, that is the most important thing. If you feel safe to do so, if you are in a safe spot to do so, I encourage you to go a little bit of distance from the venue just to have a safer pickup spot, and you won't be there when the hordes, the swarms of ride shares descend on the venue like a plague of locusts. on the land of Egypt. Trust me, your sanity will thank you. When you get home, drink some more water, do what you need to do to calm down, take a shower, change into your jammies, and jump into bed. You might think we're done, but we're not. Bonus tips. Concert etiquette, because apparently we need some nowadays. Alright, kids, this one might hurt some of you. Don't film with your phone. Are you done screaming at me yet? Okay, let me continue. Yes, you paid to be there. So did everyone else. Stop being entitled. The world isn't out to get you. That is not to say you can't film with your phone at all. I'm not a hypocrite. And also, if someone is filming with their phone the entire time and they're causing a... Okay. You know what? We're on the bonus tip, so you're just gonna have to deal with the light of the Lord. Did it fall out of the wall? Hold on a second. Spin kick 360. Oh, it's hot. Oh, that's hot. Mamma mia. Pizzeria. Mamma mia, pizzeria. Sangria. Nice to meet you. I keep unplugging it because it keeps getting hung. That's what she said. Also, if someone is filming with their phone the entire time and it's actually impeding you or someone else's view, like it's actually being an issue, do not be like random windbreaker guy spying a girl under 5'6" at the edge of the pit and roundhouse kick their face. You're a person. Try. At least try to have a conversation and ask them if they minded not doing that, or perhaps finding a different angle. Because chances are, and we're going to assume ignorance, not in that they're stupid, but just that they don't know. We're going to assume ignorance and not malice. Be diplomatic, because they might not know that they're impeding your view, and they might say, oh my gosh, sorry, find a different angle. That's why we should try. Don't be random windbreaker guy. Try and be, I know, try and be human, try and be diplomatic. As for you yourself, put the phone away. I know I myself have had to learn this art, because a lot of people, it turns out, aren't actually trying to impede your view of the show or be entitled. I said that just to call out the few that were. I know most of you are sweethearts, and you don't actually want to ruin anyone's experience. You want to share that experience with everyone. And that's why a lot of people end up filming shows, because they want to share that experience. I promise you the world does not need a 56 millionth view angle of Taylor Swift on the Eras Tour. I promise you we don't. I promise you we don't. And I love Miss Swift. I do, but we don't need it. If you want to film it for yourself, that's totally fine. I have learned over the years, whenever I go to a show and see an artist for the first time, my personal rule is that I like to film all the songs that are my favorites, but I don't film them all the way through. I try to just film my favorite parts of songs, or when I think like something big is happening. And the more I see an artist, the less that I do it. I just like wait for my favorite parts, or I wait for a speech or something like that. And I have had to try and test and learn the angles to film where I'm filming at my head, but it's not going to be over someone else's head, you know? We all have to learn things. We all have to do trial and error. That's why I tell you to talk to them. Don't be mean. Try and talk to someone, let them know, have a discussion. Hey, I can't see. Do you mind, have a discussion. But also, again, this is where I'm encouraging you, put the phone away as much as you can. But I'm not just talking about during the show. I mean during the waiting, during intermission. This can be so special, particularly if you don't usually go to shows alone. Watch the text work, look at the decor of the venue, look around at your fellow fans, because you might spot a piece of merch that you're like, hey, that DIY is sick as hell. Now I'm inspired. Mosh pits, crowd surfings, and medical emergencies. Oh my. Alright, let's talk. I am so glad that a lot of rock and metal is becoming more open. Like, a lot more people are getting into it because of various influences. I don't think that TikTok fans coming into the metal scene are a bad thing. I'm gonna say it. And I'm gonna tell you the same thing. You're not entitled, the world's not out to get you. Chey, how many people are gonna piss off with this video? r/metalcore is quaking right now. Keep quaking. I can make Shakespeare quiver. Picture that. Mosh pit rules. This is mostly going to apply to the rock and metal community. At least, that's what I would think, considering that's the only place that I've kind of really seen these things at. I know they happen at other genres, but I don't think it's as normal an occurrence. I could also be totally wrong, but I don't think I've ever seen a crowd surfer at a country show that I've ever been to. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong, but I'm guessing there's a lot of you out there who are watching this who have probably never experienced such a thing. Don't worry. I know it sounds a little bit scary, or it looks cool, wherever you are, I'm here to help. Mosh pit rules number 1. If you are near the pit, if you are within sight of the pit, if you are at the edge of the pit, if you are in the pit, if someone falls down, all my friends who know just said it. Okay, now you get to join in with the chorus. If someone falls down, you pick them up. You help them up. And that goes for throughout the crowd too, but especially with mosh pits, because we don't want someone to get hurt. We don't want someone to get trampled, you know, whatever. No matter what call out the actual vocalist says, like, you know, you don't want to actually, like, hurt people. Looking at you, random windbreaker guy. If someone falls down, you pick them up. If you are standing at the edge of the pit, it is your job to keep yourself and the people around you safe. I'm sorry, you're the wall. And this also goes to another point where if you want out of the pit, you need to tell someone you want out of the pit. If you're standing at the wall and you're like, I don't want to be here, you need to turn to the people behind you and say, I want out. You need to get out. And if they're worth their salt, they're going to get you out of that pit. Or if somehow you get thrown in the middle and you don't want to be there, please make that well known. And I know it's crazy and stuff like that, but if you make it known you want to get out and people, again, are worth their salt, they will get you out. Likewise, if someone tells you they want out of the pit, please do your best to get them out. Get them out of that situation, because if they're following around and crazy and stuff, they can get themselves hurt, they can get other people hurt. Please show the same courtesy that you would want to be shown. Help get them out, and if you want out yourself, if you're scared, let somebody know. I guarantee I've never come across where someone's like, no, you stay in there. You stay in the pit and you think about what you've done. If you see someone get Sonic the Hedgehog, which means that they get hit or there's a mosh or something, and you see something fly out of their pockets, like Sonic with the rings, and you're able to get that belonging, if they don't get it themselves or someone else doesn't pick it up, and you're able to get that belonging, hold it up and try and get it back to that person once the mosh pit is over. But if you don't know who it belongs to, you just saw it fly out, like say someone's glasses got knocked off of them, and you find them on the floor, grab them if it's safe to do so, hold it high above your head, and point at it like it's a bald man. Get other people's attention, let them point at it until you can find the owner who it belongs to, or you can get it to security to put in lost and found. 99% of the time, holding it up and pointing at it with everyone else works. Crowd surfing. A lot of people don't know how to crowd surf correctly, which has led to me having a venomous relationship with them. Let's not talk about the reason that I couldn't listen to A Day to Remember for 2 years. Actually, I'm going to talk about it real quick. I had a crowd surfer, a man who was probably about 200 to 300 pounds, and I don't say that as an insult, I don't say that as fat shaming. I mean, he was a big dude. Like, he was muscular. He was a big dude. My glasses broke during Papa Roach, and so I was basically blind, and there was no one behind me to warn me. By the time I turned around, he was already coming at me, and they dropped him on the back of my neck, and my face slammed into the barricade, so that the metal bar hit between my nose and my lip. I went down like that. I heard the medics go, oh, and run, and the first thing I did was make sure I hadn't lost all my teeth. And I also think that I got a minor concussion, but they hauled me over the barricade, and this was during If It Means a Lot to You. So yeah, I don't like crowd surfers. Me and crowd surfers do not have a good relationship, and I don't blame that guy. I don't. The guy was so sorry. He was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, are you okay? Not his fault. Not his fault. But a lot of people don't know how to crowd surf correctly, so I'm here to help you. First of all, observe your surroundings. Are there only 2 security guards? Then you probably shouldn't do it. Let me caveat that. If there are only 2 security guards and there's already 10 people headed towards them, don't do it. Don't do it. You have to learn to read the room and read the paths, and I understand there are a lot of people who are new at this, so again, this is me here to help you. I know it's like impossible to control yourself which direction you go once you're actually up there, but it's about timing, right? Because again, if you see 10 people are already going and the guards are outnumbered, because usually, if guards are great, there's like one person can get one person. Usually though, it takes 2 or 3 guards to get one person, because when you're crowd surfing, people are flopping like a fish, right? And it's hard for just one person to catch them when they're going all kinds of different ways and watch the people below them. So usually 1 or 2 guards have to go after one person. So divide that up in your head. How many guards are there and how many people are already crowd surfing their way to a man, okay? If it's too many, time it out. Time it out. Because you also have to think of the people who you're going to be surfing on. They didn't pay to stand there and keep moving you people to the front. Another thing about timing is you have to think of the people who are up at the front. They are getting hammered with people. They can't sit there and watch the show because they have to sit there and watch their backs and their necks. It's not a fun time. And you might be like, well, then don't stand at the barricade. Where else am I supposed to stand? I'm 5'5". What do you want me to do? And it's also an issue of safety. The people up at the front, the people who are catching the pathways of these surfers, if they're having to do so over and over and over again with no rest in between, they're people. They're gonna get tired. They may have had people dropped on them, kicking them, punching them in the face. It's like, oh, that's part of the show. But that means when you get up there, you may be more likely to be dropped. You may get hurt. You may hurt them. So giving them rest in between or picking your lane can be so important, not just for your safety, but for theirs. Man your lane as best you can. Like I said, it's hard to control once you're actually up there. You're at the whim of the crowd. But if you can sort of divert, just sort of like pick a span of the area you want to go, it's better than if you just say, oh, well, I'm gonna go up here and now everyone has to deal with it. Medical issues. Let's talk medical issues. I sound so chipper about that. If someone in the crowd, God forbid, is having a medical issue, it is courteous to try with your fellow concert goers to get the attention of the security guards and the medics as fast as possible. Now, this depends on where you are in the crowd. It can be more expeditious if you're towards the back for someone to just be a runner and go to the back and get a staff member. But if you're close to the front, your best bet is to keep tapping the people in front of you and be like, hey, security, like get security. That way that they can clear path from the barricade, get the person out, get them to safety, get them treated. And if security needs to make a path through the barricade, don't just step back. And I understand that some people will not move, but this is why I'm directing this to all of you. If security needs to make a path, that person getting medical attention is more important than you holding your spot, okay? Like, seriously, move back. You need to make, if possible, again, speaking to all of you, not just the people that are going to be on the outside of the wall, because I've been that person and people will not move back, and so it's like, well, I can't do anything. I understand. But often we're the ones that get yelled at. So this is my broadcast. Everyone needs to clear a path to the point to where a stretcher could get through, God forbid, if it needed to. Usually that's not the case. They have the stretcher outside, you know, if one's not needed, but it's usually outside. But that's generally the width I'd say, because 2 guards may need to haul someone out of there, and they tend to be pretty big dudes. So just listen, move back. Alright, that's the end for my concert etiquette. I know I've thrown a lot of information at you super quickly. I know it's a lot to absorb, and I'm also just a very quick talker. The TLDR is, overall, be courteous, be kind, and be true to your heart. So, headbang, dance around, talk to your fellow concert goers, or don't. Just soak in the experience however feels truest to you, you know? But also, be courteous about it. Whatever show you're going to next, I hope you have the most fun in the world. Actually, let me know down in the comments, what is the next show you're going to? Or if you don't have any upcoming, let me know the last show that you went to. Tell me about it. I'm very, very curious. And also, if you can, recommend me a song from whatever artist it is. Am I using you to bulk up my Spotify playlist? Possibly. As for now, though, that's going to be it for me. If you like music, like me, I have a ton of other music videos on this channel for you to check out. I also do videos. I do shark videos. I do vlogs. I just do whatever flavor of the day comes my way, and I say, hey, why not? I don't do concert vlogs as much anymore, but I do put some concerts in my vlogs, and I plan on doing a lot more videos about music in general, because I just love talking about music. I love sharing music. So if that's interesting to you, hit subscribe down below. Stick around. I'd love to chat music with you. Love to talk shows with you. Maybe I'll see you at a show. If you see me at a show, say hi. If you're ever at a Beartooth show in Tennessee, chances are I'm probably there. I'm gonna say, and I'm looking for you, but I don't know you. So you'll be looking for me. Anyway, if you like music stuff, if you like chaos, subscribe down below, like the video, share it with your pet pig, all that good stuff. As for me, though, I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you ain't heard it from anyone else today, I love you. Love and peace.